Hello, I am Mindy, a regular mom in her 40s. I am in the middle of my life. I am in the middle of the country, and we are in basically the middle years of family life. Our kids are not little, they're not babies, they're not elementary kids anymore, but they're also not really close to being out of the house. We've got middle schoolers and high schoolers. And mostly I make cooking content. Mostly I'm here in my kitchen. I'm showing what I'm buying at the grocery store, what I'm making for my family of 5 as a regular mom in the middle years, with a smattering of other lifestyle and homemaking content mixed in. And even though I've been on YouTube for a while now, before I started my YouTube channel, I was a teacher. And I feel like once you have been a teacher, you are just always a teacher. You're always thinking about things through the lens of how can I teach somebody something new? So in my 7.5 years here on YouTube, hundreds of videos that I have made, I feel like they fall into one of 2 categories. Either I am showing you exactly what I did so that you can recreate it. The exact crock pot meals, the exact budget meal plan, the exact grocery haul and accompanying meal plan so that you can basically just recreate it yourself. Here's the thing I did, and now you can do it too. The other kind of video is giving more ideas, kind of taking you through a process, the way I am putting together a meal plan, what I am thinking about when I pick up the groceries or make the grocery budget, giving you sort of a framework to work within so that then you can just take that framework and fill it in according to your needs and preferences. Sort of like the whole give a man a fish versus teach a man to fish mentality, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that this video is gonna be a little bit more in that second category, in the, teach a man to fish type situation. I saw this recipe on Pinterest and thought it looked absolutely delicious and decided that I want to try to make that. But I am going to make some substitutions and some adjustments to fit our family's dietary preferences and needs right now. So I thought I would take you through that process as I'm working through this recipe and adapting it to fit my family's preferences. And over the years on my channel, I've been asked so many times, how do I make this recipe gluten-free? Or how do I reduce the sugar in this recipe? Or what can I use instead of this specific ingredient? And honestly, that's not always a thing that I feel comfortable advising on, because as I've stated, I'm just a regular mom in a regular kitchen. I'm not like a trained chef or cook or food scientist. But I'm just gonna take you through my process tonight and show you how I do this when I am adapting a recipe for my family, so that hopefully it just gives you, some ideas of how you can adjust things and adapt things when your family, needs something different than what's on the paper or the website or the pin. The jumping off point for this meal today is coming from a website called Skinny Spatula. It's for a recipe called Yuvetsi. I think that's what it's called. It's a Greek beef stew, and it looks absolutely delicious as is. So I'll leave it linked in the description box in case you just want to go with the original. Now, I know that if you have a Greek grandmother or Greek heritage, you are probably going to be tempted to correct me or come at me in the comments. And I just want to say right now that I'm not attempting to make authentic Greek Yuvetsi. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I just think that the ingredients and the recipe look delicious. The flavor profile looks great, and I'm trying to adapt it so that my husband and I can eat it. So I know that when I'm done with this, that it will look completely different. It'll be a slightly different dish with some of the flavor profile of the original dish. So just keep that in mind. Go easy on me, okay? The adjustments that I am making are coming from both my husband and myself having some health goals that we're wanting to achieve, and so we're just tweaking our nutrition a little bit. We've done a little research and figured out a way to eat that is sustainable. We're not perfect. We're kind of trying to follow the 80-20 rule, but some of the changes that I'm making and the substitutions that I'm making are, coming from those goals that he and I have. First off, the protein in this recipe, it calls for 1.5 pounds of beef, and it doesn't get very specific about the kind of beef. It also says you could substitute lamb or chicken. We're eating less beef. We have not eliminated it entirely, but we're eating it less often, and when we do eat it, I'm choosing some leaner cuts. So I have some little top sirloin fillets, 1 pound, that I picked up at Sprouts. They were actually on clearance this week, got a great deal on them. So I'm gonna slice those up, and I'm going to get them browning for a couple of minutes on each side in my Dutch oven. And I'm gonna use a couple tablespoons of this avocado oil to accomplish that task. I'm not worried about cooking the beef all the way through because I'm going to simmer it with the rest of the stew here in a few minutes. So once those have browned on each side for a couple minutes, I'm just gonna remove them to a plate. And now it's time to add a couple more tablespoons of oil and then about half of a diced onion. And once that starts to get translucent, I will add a little bit of minced garlic. This recipe also calls for half a cup of wine to help deglaze the pan and also add a little bit of just richness, boldness, flavor to the recipe. I'm not opposed to using wine in my recipes, but I typically don't like to open a new bottle just for the sake of getting half a cup of wine. And I actually don't even have any red wine right now. Sometimes I'll just use a little bit of extra broth and seasoning. Today though, I am opening up my spice cabinet and I am going to locate the red wine vinegar. And I'm going to use half vinegar and half water in place of the wine that the recipe calls for. So I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar with a 1/4 cup of water to help deglaze the pan and add to the broth. Don't overcook your onions like I did, but we're gonna go with it. And actually some of the brown you see are the juices from the beef that we cooked earlier. Now you can start with less vinegar, like 2 tablespoons, and then fill the measuring cup up to the half cup mark to make your, half cup of diluted red wine vinegar solution. I went ahead and went with the 1-to-1 ratio because this is going to have lots of other ingredients and pretty rich flavors. So I think that the red wine vinegar would do okay, but if you're not a fan, maybe use less. Okay, my camera decided not to film that last bit. So after I cooked down the wine vinegar and sort of used that to deglaze the pan with the onions and the garlic, I added 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and 1 14-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And now we're putting the seasonings in. I already put in half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. It calls for a couple bay leaves. I just have bay leaf crumbs, so we're gonna see if we can get these back out at the end. And 1 cinnamon stick. Before I put my meat back in and get this all simmering, I need to add 2 cups of some kind of broth, chicken broth, veggie broth, beef broth. I'm completely out of my better than bouillon that I like to use, so I'm gonna use 2 of these bone broth sticks and then 2 cups of water. Plus I'm gonna add an extra half cup because of another substitution I'm gonna make here in a little bit. Now I'm gonna add my beef back in. I'm gonna bring it to a simmer, cover it, and let that all simmer together for about 20 minutes before we go on. While that is simmering, I wanna take a minute to thank today's sponsor, Helix. We are in the process right now of playing musical furniture in the children's rooms upstairs. Comment down below if you're a homeowner and you know exactly what I mean when I say we're playing musical furniture. Basically, it's where we just have to shuffle some things around, sometimes change up which rooms they're in, change up what furniture they have in order to accommodate them and what they need as they get older. We're graduating out of the childhood years and into the teenager years, and we have 3 children who are about to turn 12, 13, and 16. And one of those needs that we had was to replace some mattresses. So today I'm actually unboxing McKenna's new mattress. First of all, they will deliver your mattress right to your door. And personally, I appreciate that it comes in this box because I can just set it aside until I'm actually ready to set it up. I don't have to like coordinate. Okay, I've got to have everything ready and all the furniture moved so that they can put the mattress exactly where it goes. Okay, Helix really thought of everything with this mattress because they even made one side of the box a side that kids can color, because let's face it, we know that that's what kids really want for Christmas, right? The box it came in. So you can see it's all compressed, but I can actually hear the air starting to escape as soon as I cut open the end like this. And the mattress will continue to decompress and puff up over the next day or so. This right here is what I think is so cool about this mattress. I wish they had had a mattress like this when my kids were smaller. Maybe they did, but I did not know about it. This mattress is double-sided, and one side is made for younger kids, ages 2 to 7. It's firmer, it's more supportive. And then the side we have it on is for when they get older. It's a little bit softer and when they can have a softer mattress. Our daughter is about to turn 13, but she's very petite, so we're keeping her in a twin bed. We have it on the softer side. But I just think that's a really cool functionality of this mattress, that you can use it for several years and it grows with the kids. Kenna's current twin beds were hand-me-downs, and even with mattress pads and foam toppers, my kids would tell me that they weren't the most comfortable beds to sleep in. But all 3 of my kids, even my teenagers, say that this mattress is a giant improvement, and actually they fought over who got to sleep in that bed the first night that I set it up. Whether you are looking for a new kids mattress like the one I got, or maybe you're in the market for a new mattress for your guest bed, or you want to upgrade your master bed to a king mattress, now is a great time to visit Helix. You can take advantage of their fall savings event. It's 20% off site-wide from now through October 30th. Just visit the link in the description box below or go to helixsleep.com/cmindymom. Again, that's 20% off site-wide now through October 30th with Helix's fall savings event. The link is in the description box below, or go to helixsleep.com/cmindymom. And thank you again to Helix for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. I really hope this tastes as good as it smells simmering right now. It's making my mouth water. The original recipe calls for 2 cups of orzo. If you're not familiar with orzo, it is a teeny tiny pasta. It looks like rice, but it's not, it's pasta. And we have not eliminated pasta from our diet, we still eat it. But sometimes what I do is try to cut back on the amount of pasta in a recipe, especially a soup or a casserole, and look for something else that I can add in addition. So I don't have any orzo, but I have some of this little star-shaped pasta. I don't really care that it's gluten-free. I didn't need for this to be gluten-free. It's just what I have. And there's about 3/4 of a cup in here. So we're gonna use this. It's gonna reduce the pasta by a little bit more than half. And then to fill in with another starch, we are going to use lentils. So I have about a cup of lentils right here that we're gonna use in this recipe to make up for the rest of the pasta. This has been simmering for 20 minutes. I am going to add my lentils, which I already rinsed and kind of made sure that there weren't, any rocks or little pieces or something in there. Just gonna stir these in. I'm gonna pop the lid back on and let it simmer for another 20 minutes. When my 20-minute timer went off, my lentils were looking really tender, but they had soaked up most of the liquid. So I added another 1.5 cups of water to my pot and brought it back to a simmer so that we can now finish this off by adding my pasta. And this is probably a little bit less than a cup, but these are teeny tiny pastas. They are going to cook very quickly. So I'm gonna pop the lid back on this and just let it cook for about 10 minutes or so. Oh, also I went ahead and took out the cinnamon stick and the bay leaves before I put the pasta in. I'm so ready to try this. Last step before this is ready to plate up is to stir in 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. The moment of truth. Oh man, that is so good. The beef is really tender from simmering, so long with everything else. I love the flavor that like the nutmeg and the cinnamon added. I would never have thought of that. And honestly, I cannot even tell that I subbed half the pasta for lentils. Man, that is a winner. As I said before, I will leave the original recipe from Skinny Spatula that inspired me linked in the description box, so go and check it out. But I also kept track of the changes that I made, so I will pop those up right here in case you want to grab a screenshot. I hope this was helpful for somebody out there, just to give you some encouragement and inspiration. If there's a recipe that doesn't quite fit what you need, maybe you can do a little research and figure out how to make it work for you. If you want another sort of teach a man to fish style video where I give you a framework to work with, you can check out this video next, and I'll see you there.